DDG episode 257. My name is Dave, and I'm joined by Michael.
Dave, after almost 10 years, my gaming PC has finally just given up on me. This is the third time I think we're trying to record this week. And
Try is a
kind
hard
of
word,
technically,
like schedule.
yeah, scheduled, but my gaming PC shit the bed. And now I am recording on a MacBook, which I don't like doing, but we were just talking about like, am I going to go build a PC or am I going to just buy a pre-built? The answer is I'm lazy. I'm going to buy a pre-built. And I don't feel like fighting people for RAM
Yep.
and SSDs right now.
And,
So
and you can afford it. Like, I mean, like you're
yes,
we're both of us are in what I would call a relatively comfortable spot where, like, multiple years ago, like, I'd blow a tire out and be like, oh my god, it's gonna kill my budget, like, for weeks. And now I'm just like, I'm not like sitting there like swimming in it, but I'm like, okay, like, oh, you need a $300 engine repair? Okay, I can make it work, like, or whatever. So
yeah.
it's a good,
But
it's a
but I'm
better feeling.
yeah, but I also am planning to replace some flooring, and
Oh,
it's going to be
okay.
around the same time. So I'm just going to see a lot of stuff at one time go away, and I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate that so much.
You're not, if this works and you're not somebody that games on your PC heavily, so you have some time. Like, if this, I mean, I know you're not loving
I,
your setup right now, but you don't have to like go
mhm.
and just keep an eye out. You never know what Sam's, Walmart, Costco, any of them are gonna do.
I mean, I will be going to a Costco because they seem to be the ones that have like the pre-builts that are nice, and Costco's got a pretty good warranty. So that's where I'm going to be doing when I find time to set up a new PC. But damn, I was so sad. I have a nice Cyclops sticker on my PC. I'm gonna have to take that off now or just throw it away.
There's tons of
And I
websites
know
that
I'm not
let
gonna
you
throw
get
this
better
away or
ones.
recycle it. I'm just gonna put this in a closet. Like I'm not gonna do anything with it. It's just gonna go be put away.
Is it gonna
Maybe
go
I'll
in the
sell the
same
RAM on
closet that
eBay.
all of your empty boxes are into?
I got rid of a lot of my empty boxes because turns out when you buy a house, you don't need the boxes for moving in the future.
I know, but like
So
some people just say they have to keep their boxes. Like, they buy a new TV and they keep the box somewhere.
I only kept my TV boxes because I knew I was going to be moving eventually.
Okay.
And now that I have a house, I destroyed those boxes. It was very liberating to get rid of TV boxes.
So you
The
don't?
under my bed is
Do you
completely empty.
still have your PS5 box?
So that is a collectible.
Uh-huh.
So I do have those collectibles
Do you
because
still
they
have the
look
box that
nice.
the MacBook came in that you're recording on?
No, I
Okay.
don't have that.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Do you have the box of your 10-year-old PC?
No. So this was an open box when I used to work at Geek Squad. So it
Okay.
didn't come with a box or anything. It
Okay.
was just some very rich person didn't know how the Windows or OS worked, and I got 50% off because of that. So
Nice. All right.
it lasted a long time. I'm sad to see it go, but I guess I'm a Mac user and I hate it. New Audacity sucks. Fuck the Tahoe, I think is the new OS for Mac. It fucking sucks, but here we are.
All right.
Let's talk about video games,
Yeah.
Dave.
So we're Digital Days Gaming. We are a bi-monthly podcast that posts on typically when we're done recording is when we post. So and it gets edited. I'm not going to sit there and commit to a schedule or anything like that because we all have lives and stuff. So, but you can find us on digitaldaysgaming.com. That website will take you to however you want to listen to the podcast, as well as it could direct you to Twitch, twitch.tv/digitaldaysgaming, where we record the show live. And you can also watch us on YouTube, youtube.com/digitaldaysgaming. You can subscribe there. That's free. You can subscribe on Twitch. That costs money unless you have a Twitch Prime with your Amazon account. And you can link that together and use the subscription on a streamer of your choice. It doesn't auto-renew, so if you used that on us before, thank you. And please check if it's something you still want to keep doing. It does have to be renewed monthly by the user. And please, if you've started to come back to listen to us after we took our sabbatical, more than likely your subscription did not renew, so just give that a check for us, and that would be helpful. And the main place that you can communicate with us regularly is at our Discord, and that link to join is in the show notes. If for some reason that doesn't work, reach out to me on various forms of social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever. I have Instagram, all those things. Most of them are affiliated with my Twitter handle or the Good Dave Hunting. And then I will send you the Discord invite because I don't know if it works, and I haven't checked it recently. So. But other than that, everything else will be linked in our show notes, and hopefully that Discord link is in there also. And we're gonna jump into our news.
Yeah, so we have a kind of a wide range of news stuff to talk about this week. Nothing earth shattering like all of Xbox imploding or PlayStation imploding. Though there were some follow-ups to that, but nothing major.
Just based on that, by the way, it's not a real news story, but I just wanted to, because I saw it come across today and I thought it was funny. Marathon has officially lasted longer than Concord.
That, you know what? That's a milestone for PlayStation. There's a plaque that's on its way to Bungie. That
I survived
outlasted
Concord.
Yep. I have a sealed copy of Concord that I got for like $10. So, maybe I'll get when Bungie shuts down Marathon in 2 months, I'll also pick up a copy.
It's holding steady. It's not holding good, but it's steady. So,
I mean, that's all they need is they just needed to be steady, and then hopefully they can add content to it and get people excited about it. I haven't really seen excitement, but there's a game now,
I haven't seen excitement either, but I haven't seen disappointment.
Yeah. I think it just kind of, we'll just talk about it right now, but I think it just kind of came out at the wrong time because Resident Evil kind of took a lot of the airspace, and then Pokopia took a ton of the airspace, even though completely different games. If you go to any like social media website or go to any video game website, they're talking about Pokopia and then they're talking about Resident Evil. They're not talking about Marathon.
And it's funny because like it's kind of not, I wouldn't say similar, but just this has been Bungie's, like, this is what Bungie does, is that the more you play their games, the more you figure their games out, and the more fun they are. Destiny, like early on, all the way back to vanilla Destiny, like when you played it like you did, like for the campaign and stuff like that, you're like, okay, that was crap. And then like there's an end game loop to it, and if that end game loop works for some people, like myself, you can sink a ton of hours into it. And then what I was hearing, I did not purchase Marathon. I have not been playing very many games lately in general. I don't know why, but I'm hearing some of the same things of even during the closed beta or whatever, the stress test they were running of like, okay, like you do this, you start doing faction contracts and you get this, and then all of a sudden you can, whatever it is, you don't overheat as much because you get better perks and you can move and then you get better loot. And it's like, it's one of those games. It's like kind of like almost the bad sentence nowadays of like, it gets really good after 20 hours, but you're like, you got to put the 20 hours in. So.
I know people that are playing the game, but I haven't seen people on social media doing the, hey, I'm hopping on, anyone want to jump in a group, like I saw with Helldivers, like I saw with Arc Raiders.
Yep.
I'm just not seeing that like excitement. Like I see people on my friend list, it's like maybe like 3 or 4 people out of like 50 that are playing it, which isn't terrible. But compared to other games, like when Arc Raiders came out, how many people were playing that? I think I saw more people playing High Guard when that came out. And now that's gone, so it outlasted High Guard as well. So I think steady is the best they could have hoped for, and it seems like they have at least achieved that 1 or 2 weeks since launch.
Yeah, but they're doing a really bad job of managing Marathon and Destiny right now because they've punted Destiny content till like June, and the game is like a barren wasteland right now, and there's nothing to do. So,
which we knew that was a possibility,
right? They just got to find the balance. Like like I think having 2 steady games, is better than having 1 steady, 1 dead. So
yeah, but they can easily, I think they know with the Destiny community that they can ignore them and they'll come back.
You're not wrong.
So they probably did the math of like, we can starve them for like a little bit longer, and then they're just going to come back. And
they had a huge spike in player count when they gave them lightsabers. So
exactly, they just throw them a little bit of trinkets and stuff, and they'll come play for a couple weeks, throw a fit, complain, and then they'll leave again, and then the cycle continues.
Yep.
So. Well, we'll jump into the first news story, and that is the Nintendo Switch 2 update that just hit this week adds handheld dock mode for Switch 1 games. So the Switch 2 got this update called Handheld Boost Mode, and this new mode allows Switch 1 games to run basically in docked mode while being played handheld. So basically it's going to up the Switch 1 games to where now they're going to run at 1080p in handheld mode on the Switch 2. So this is basically a nice little surprise upgrade. A lot of people were like, oh shit, a like console update that actually adds something that people would want.
For
free. There's a lot of games that look like shit on the on handheld mode. So this is going to help out a lot of people.
It's interesting that Nintendo did this without like tying it to the online expansion pass or anything like that. Like this is literally
Mhm.
just like an update. Like this, they throw these bones like about every couple of years. Like when all of a sudden they were like, Great news! We've figured out how to turn Bluetooth on, and you can use whatever kind of headphones you want now." You're like,
Yeah,
"You
that's
figured it
super
out."
late one.
Like,
Yeah.
so it's like you decided that it wasn't worth the fight anymore, or somebody was slapping you with some kind of lawsuit, and you spun it. Um, but I so I don't play the Switch enough, and like I play a couple things on the Switch of like the core, the Mario's, the Zeldas, and stuff like that. Um, you play, you typically sometimes play a little bit more diverse games than I do on the Switch. Did
Yeah.
you, or is this intriguing to you at all, or are you kind of already like any game
I
that you would play from Switch One, you've kind of already played and moved on from?
No, I have a ton of Switch 1 games that I part of the reason I bought the Switch 2 is there was a lot of games that I'm like, oh, they kind of run subpar on the Switch 1, so any
Okay,
little boost would be helpful,
okay,
especially when it comes to handheld mode, which is still my preferred way to play.
okay,
So there's like I was really disappointed. So Xenoblade Chronicles X
okay,
got a Switch 2 upgrade for $5.
okay.
Looks really good docked. Looks fucking horrible in
Okay,
handheld mode.
that was gonna be my next question. Is like I don't really play in handheld enough.
Mhm.
The only thing I could think of like recalling playing in handheld mode would be MLB The Show, like 23, 24, whatever year it was.
Mhm.
Um, and but I was gonna ask like the little bit that I had done with like Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild and some Mario games, I never really noticed that big of a difference between handheld and docked. Again, games built from the ground up for the Switch, both versions, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'm like I'm not always the best thing to do that, and I also felt like anything that I would quote unquote see as loss, like lossless scaling or anything like that, would be significantly reduced just because it went down to a 7-inch screen from my 50-inch TV. Like,
Yeah, well, I would say it was more noticeable on the Switch 2 because it's a
okay,
higher quality screen and it's a bigger screen.
yeah,
So you would notice some of those textures just being a little blurry
okay,
and just the quality in general being poor. So the fact that now you get basically the TV experience in dock mode for those Switch 1 games
yeah,
is really cool. And it does open up some games that I was interested in playing.
that's awesome.
Because there were some games that I took on a recent trip I had because I took the Switch 2 with me, and there were some games that just look kind of shit, and I was like, oh, this is kind of disappointing. And now 2 weeks later, I turned that game on and I tried playing it on the Switch 2, and I'm like, okay, this looks. I'm not saying it's like night and day difference, but 720p to 1080p
Yeah,
is noticeable in some of these games,
awesome.
especially a lot of Switch One games. Like I don't know if you notice. I mean, it's noticeable in Zelda, but like a lot of them are like kind of open barren lands,
Hmm.
like there's this like fields and stuff like that, so you notice like lower quality fields and trees
Pop
and
in
leaves.
texture,
Yeah, pop
texture
in.
movement, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure.
And it seems to kind of help a little bit with that, and anything is an improvement, especially if you want to have the best experience you can, and going from Switch 1 to Switch 2, that's really helpful. So
Yeah,
I was excited to try out a couple games that I was on a fence on, of just like, oh, I really want to play this handheld, but it looks bad, but I don't really see it as a sit down on a couch experience. So
okay, yeah,
trying to
that's cool.
to figure that out, and now I gotta build my backlog all over again.
To
So what I
not
want
play.
to do.
So
Yeah, 100%. All those Switch games behind me, all those red boxes, barely played any of them, but I buy them because I like them. I think I'll find out when I play them. But yeah, have you used your Switch 2 at all? I remember we both pre-ordered them at the same time. We both got them.
so
Have you messed
no,
with it, or is it
no.
Owens now?
Um, I yeah, I now that I'm thinking about it out loud, I gotta double check if I even downloaded the key, the game code for Mario Kart. I was gonna say I can promise you I've not ran a race in Mario Kart World or whatever it's called. I know that for sure. Owen has played it and he's been playing like Hollow Knight and Silk Song. I think Silk Song's on there.
Yeah,
I don't remember if he got Silk Song yet or not, but he was
it
playing
is. Yeah.
Hollow Knight. He's done a bunch of Zelda stuff on there, but there is definitely a lack of um, there's a lack of software. Like there's like the fact that there's
Mhm.
not a like we're this far into the cycle and we don't have a like ultimately I really don't have a Zelda announced even, and then like where's Odyssey 2 at this point in time? Especially again like
I mean,
this.
we're 1 year in. Like, it's
Still,
not
but I
fair.
mean, at least the announcement, did they announce Odyssey 2? And I don't remember.
No, 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 no.
Right. So
They've announced all their Pokemon games for
yeah,
next
and
week's
then like
E3.
we've got a sequel to the Mario movie coming out like next week, and like where's the connectivity? But I mean, like that's me. Like I mean, I buy those, primarily now it turned into an Owen thing, but and my life since Angela's diagnostic of cancer like is significantly different of what I choose to do with my time or not to do with my time. Like I took
Mhm.
even when I went on the cruise, I took my ROG with me and I didn't turn it on. Not in the airport, not on the
I
plane, not on the boat. Like
I figured the ROG wouldn't get used on a cruise, but I see your point of just like things have like changed.
yeah, so I mean
The
it's like and
gameplay and entertainment.
I'm trying to figure it out and there's a couple like I saw a trailer, I'd have to go pull the name up again, but there's a game coming like next week. It's like a side scroller kind of like beat 'em up Astalam or something.
Mhm,
That looks kind of interesting. I even bought Kenna Bridge of Spirits on Steam. Um
mhm.
because I was like, with the new sequel announcement and, like, and I had it on PlayStation, but I was hoping that I would play it in airports and I didn't. And I should play it and stream it because it's so much easier to stream down here with PC games than it is console stuff. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, so like, and I really kind of need to dig into stuff. There is a new, like Drinkbox has a new game coming out this fall, like which I'm sure, like
Mhm.
the Nobody Saves the World and Guacamelee team, like I'm sure that'll jolt me. But at the same time, it's March. I've, watching some of the World Baseball Classic, I've gotten a little bit more of the baseball itch sooner. I've been seeing some more advertisements for MLB The Show, and I'm like, okay, like the franchise mode changes and stuff like that are interesting, but like I don't know. I'm just kind of in this funky spot, like. Wolverine looks cool, but I'm like that's
Mhm.
like at the same time like I'm like that's really really gory. It's a lot more gory than I expected it to be. Um,
It's as gory as the last Wolverine game,
I,
which I'm
I
excited
it's
for.
very gory for an Insomniac game.
Yeah, not since Fuse
Yeah,
or
I wouldn't even say Fuse was in
uh
that gory.
yeah, or I Resistance was pretty gory.
Yeah, and that was PS3 there, buddy. so,
Yeah, yeah. I mean
so
that was just yesterday. They just updated the
So
firmware on
no,
the
it's
PS3 a
not a
couple days ago.
slight. I mean, it was kind of the same thing.
Yeah,
It
yeah, yeah.
it it took me a little bit with Last of Us right away. Like obviously that was different than Uncharted, and it was, but it wasn't. And I don't. I would assume that if when I play Wolverine, um, it will be it'll feel like Spider-Man, different, but it'll
Yeah.
still feel like Spider-Man. And I really hope that the story's good. I have confidence that the story will be good. It's just kind of one of those things where I was like, okay, like yeah, I've seen Logan, I've seen the movies, but then the Wolverine. I'm a little older than you are, so the Wolverine that was portrayed to me in my teenage years is not that. So, you know,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, it same thing for me. I
yeah,
mean, I grew up with the X-Men
right,
animated series, Wolverine, but I've also never been a big fan of Wolverine. So
yeah.
any different take is something that I'd be interested in for Wolverine. I mean, what if they just introduce different colorways and then you can like grind for some new claws and stuff like that? They got to give you loot, Dave. We know
I,
that's the key.
no, I mean it's not even really the key. I mean it's like yeah, sure, the suit stuff was cool for Spider-Man and stuff like that. Ultimately, it's just nothing. And it's some of my fault. Maybe it's just like my mindset right now, but nothing just seems to grab my attention. I never get the feeling of like, hey, like terrible example, but hey, I'm off work. Angela's got a meeting. Owen's gonna watch TV. I'm gonna play my game. Like I'm gonna play
Yeah.
X game, and then I'm and then I want to see what happens next. Um, so like it's just trying to figure that balance out for me, and to find that, and I just don't know where that's gonna come from right now. So
Well, to be fair, I don't think I've seen a Dave game come out in
yeah,
quite a while. Just like again, the biggest games right now are Resident Evil and Pokemon.
yeah.
And neither one of those are Dave games. Marathon could have been, but I think getting you into an extraction shooter where you can lose all your shit, I don't think was ever gonna potentially drive you in unless like that whole Destiny group you play with or like
Yeah, I mean,
Red Snow on
ultimately,
Marathon.
that's what it would come down to. There's two people on my friends list I've seen playing it, and they're not really, not that I'm expecting it or whatever, but they're not necessarily reaching out to me saying, hey, like, do you want to play, or like, are you gonna get this? And like I don't that group has kind of fizzled for me in general. So like and that was where like the longest time of my, and this is not me asking for people to play games with me. I'm just explaining.
Yeah,
Um,
for people to send a marathon
there's
games.
there's just this that was like the social gaming for me was what was doing it for a while, to where I'd be like, I'm gonna take a break and have a single player game, for the next couple of days, and then go back and hang out with my buddies or whatever. But that's just I'm in my own weird dynamic with that right now. So
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I go through that with multiplayer games for the most part, where it's just like really big into Killzone and Battlefield at the time. Then I took a couple years off from playing multiplayer games in general. Got back in with Overwatch. Then took a couple years off. Now I'm back in it with Rivals. But even then, my Rivals, I keep it to like maybe 3, 4 people that I'll play Rivals with. But as opposed to other games where it's just like anytime someone was in my friend
yeah.
list playing it, I would immediately be like, all right, let's hop on, let's play. But like I have people that want me to pick up Arc Raiders, and I just can't
Yeah, I was looking at
get
that
into
too,
Arc
and
Raiders, and I'm
I've talked back and forth with Johnny as a boy, and he's like, if you're playing like with me and Tyler or whatever, like you'll have a blast, but he's like, it's definitely not something that you can just pick up and play on your own, and sometimes matching those people's schedules up and stuff like that now too. The game I was talking about for March 25th is Absalom, and
absolutely.
it's a .emu game, and then so it's a little bit of a like a side scroller, and it's that side scroller kind of like beat 'em up, like the little about the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, crafted with passion of the dream team, redefined side scrolling beat 'em up. Absolute mixes, top combat, modern roguelite elements. So it's already kind of turning me off a little bit there with the roguelite, but also it's on Game
Yeah.
Pass, so I'll just download, play it, and I like it. It's great. If I don't, I don't. So like,
It has that logo that I feel like is the indie game logo. I don't know why. I'm looking at the logo right now. I'm just like, I
yeah.
feel like I've seen it
But if you
before.
click
But
on the trailer and just mute the trailer and watch it, you'd be like, yeah, that's probably something Dave would play. So
yeah, I see side scroller.
yeah,
It kind of looks Castlevania a little bit, and it's just like, okay, yeah, Dave would probably be into
yeah.
that. But we'll see. Couple games that Dave wouldn't be into. Konami basically finds out that making games people want leads to sales, so they announced that Silent Hill 2 Remake has passed 5 million copies sold across all platforms, digitally and physically. Silent Hill F, they didn't share updated figures, but that came out in September and sold over 1 million units day one. So we're kind of seeing like this resurgence from Konami. I think Konami is basically finding out what Capcom found out of just like, hey, if we remake games, we can also make new games and people will be interested in buying them. It's a shocking revelation that they are going down. And again, it's the same thing Capcom found out. So we already know Konami is going to continue remaking Silent Hill games. They're going to make new entries, and there definitely seems to be a demand for it. We're seeing it kind of come to fruition for them after taking. How long of a break do you think Konami took from like actually making games that
it
people
was
cared about? Like 5+ years?
the PS4
10?
PS4 generation.
The Phantom Pain, right? Like the Metal Gear Phantom Pain.
Yeah, I'd say. I mean, yeah, it just was kind of one of those things where they were doing they were navigating the Kojima issue, and like it was
Yeah.
like why they were navigating the Kojima issue, and they were in whatever court or litigation or whatever the hell was going on with that. They're like, oh, we don't make video games, we fight Kojima right now. Like this is what we do, and it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you need to do both. Like,
And now we're finally getting to where like, Metal Gear Solid Collection 1 sold decent. I believe the remake of Metal Gear Solid 3 did really well for them.
yeah.
That sold pretty well, and then now they're gonna have the
The-
Metal Gear Solid 4 collection.
I think they did the Ninja Turtle collection things, and people seem to like those. At least the
Yeah,
6-in-1 or the
the
8-in-1 games
Cowabunga.
or whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
like Cowabunga collection. Thank you. Yeah.
yeah,
So
and
I
then
yeah.
go on.
No, it's like, but so now like you build the goodwill back up with gamers. Where like, oh, I'm willing to support Konami now, and it's like, okay, what are you going to do that's new and innovative now? You can just keep doing
Mhm.
that. I mean, if you want to just keep doing what you did and bring back stuff from the 90s and the early 2000s, 2010s, like cool, like there's an audience for it. Mathematically, statistically, sales wise, you can see it. But if you really want to, you know, truly go from 5 million to 10 or 15 or 20 million, like you got to find like a thing, like, and it's hard, super hard.
Yeah, and they're at least showing a little bit of signs of just like with the Silent Hill F, which was a new Silent Hill game that was pretty different from the other ones. That sold pretty well
Yeah,
for a new entry, even though it was doing stuff that like people
But it
weren't
still begs that
expecting.
it still begs that question though. If this game was called something else, not Silent Hill F, would it have done those numbers? Or does the
Well,
Silent Hill
it
brand carry
probably,
it?
yeah. And I think they're finding out the Silent Hill brand does
For
carry
sure. Yeah.
everything but a theatrical experience, because the
Yeah.
movie bombed that came out a
Yeah.
couple weeks ago, or like a month ago. So they're finding out. I mean, Capcom went through the same thing. Remember when Capcom was just making remake after remake for Resident Evil, and then they finally did Resident Evil 7,
Yeah.
and then people were like, "Oh shit!" Then they did remake again, Resident
Mhm.
Evil 8, and
Mhm.
then now Requiem, which is 9, is doing phenomenal for them. So like,
And it sounds like it's
there's a
like
path.
super short too, by the way. So
I mean, it came out relatively quick. Like they've been pumping out like
yeah, yeah,
either
yeah.
the remakes or the new entries
But they're
really
bringing
quickly.
cash in, and then they're investing that cash into quality new stuff. Like they're doing it
Yeah,
correctly. Like they're building their bank
yeah.
and they're building their foundation. Okay, cool. We have our mythical house foundation built. Okay, now we have the frame of the house built. Okay, now let's put some cool shit in the house. And that's
Yeah, and
go ahead.
and that's what Konami's slowly building towards.
Yep.
And the I think the thing that is going to be like a question is, once they complete the Metal Gear Solid collection this summer, do we get a new Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
game? Are they willing to take that chance,
Well,
knowing that
what's gonna
Kojima
be
isn't
their
attached?
Requiem, or what's gonna be their Resident Evil 8?
No,
What's
yeah.
you know.
And Metal Gear seems like a franchise, especially in this current world, that would be a very fascinating political story to tell. And it's
If
just a
they're
matter of
willing
like,
to
are
push
they
the
going to have?
envelope far enough. Like we
Yeah,
saw Ubisoft flirt on that line so much. So much. And their games that when they were flirting on those lines, their games were good to great. Watch Dogs 2, Far Cry 6, Far Cry 5, the cult stuff, like they were
yeah.
flirting those lines, like they were skirting those lines so close. And it was like, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? And they never did it. But, they came
Which
so
kept their stuff from being good to great.
correct.
Like
Yep.
they could have been like, like pretty up there all time games, but they always pulled back just a little bit.
Yep.
And Metal Gear Solid could definitely, and it has always gone a little extra. So it's
Yep.
a matter of just like, are they willing to take that chance without Kojima?
Yeah.
Or are they willing to take that chance at all, period?
Right.
Because there's going to be backlash if they announce
Yeah.
Metal Gear
It's
Solid
good. Oh, it's not a Kojima. It's not a
7.
Metal Gear. It's no Kojima, no Metal
Yeah.
Gear. Like you can
So
remake
then they
stuff,
have
but
to
no
just,
new metal stuff.
Mhm. But then it's a matter of them just being like, okay, so there's no Kojima, but we're going to go there. We're going to go to an extreme and talk about some crazy stuff in the Metal Gear Solid way, which is talk about something crazy in a crazy way. And then have people not realize they're paying something super political.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that will be the test for them, to where like eventually they'll run out of remakes and then they're gonna have to do
Mm-hmm.
it. I don't know if you saw, Dave, but like Konami announced the X-Men Arcade collection.
Mm-hmm.
So they're releasing basically a Cowabunga collection with all of their Marvel games, which it's going to include X-Men the arcade game, Captain America the Avengers arcade game, Spider-Man and Venom Maximum Carnage, Spider-Man and Venom Separation Anxiety, Spider-Man and X-Men Arcade's Revenge, and the Silver Surfer NES game. So it's a collection of all of the Konami like arcade and NES games. And again, it's Konami taking of like, hey, we have all this IP, we're sitting on all this stuff. Let's do something with it. Let's produce some cash, and then hopefully that leads to like more new experiences that they can, provide. And I'll be happy to buy like a new Metal Gear. I'll be down for a new Silent Hill again, even though the F just came out. But F was also kind of a short experience, so it's
Yeah.
just like, okay, like let's get a bigger thing going. So I appreciate that, and then I just love more Marvel stuff. So
Yeah, for
when
sure.
they announced that Marvel collection, I was pretty excited. All right, Dave. I won't talk about this game too much, but Pokopia, I think that's how you pronounce it. I haven't really paid attention to how people pronounce it. But Pokopia, the Pokemon game, is now the highest rated Pokemon game of all time. It has a 89 on Metacritic, just beating out Pokemon XY. And it is one of the best selling entries in the Pokemon franchise within like the same time period, basically. So sales wise, the game has sold 2.2 million copies. This is despite the limited user base of the Switch 2, the game being a Game Geek key card, and also being really hard to find physically. So they're selling a lot of stuff digitally obviously, but I only bring that up not because I'm a crazy collector, but because people do buy Nintendo stuff physically.
Right.
Like there's a
Absolutely.
lot of people that like to buy their physical copies, and it basically is hard to find in stores. Amazon actually increased the price on the game to kind of take advantage of people. But yeah, no, this Pokemon game is kind of everywhere right now. Like everyone's kind of playing it. It being the highest rated Pokemon game is one of those things where I wouldn't have believed it until I played it. And it's just I've been playing it every night. Me and Sarah are like just trying to fix up our Pokemon islands. This whole thing made Animal Crossing seem like a fucking tech demo.
Jeez.
Like it's insane like how good this game is.
Well, it makes you
Uh,
wonder, like, you know, with the tariffs and the new console and like the key card crap, like if this was a Switch One title with the Switch user base, like what could it have been? Now, like, I'm not even talking about if it could or couldn't run on the Switch One. I'm not
mhm.
talking about that. I'm just talking about the base. Like Switch Twos are easy to get. I would say are easy to get now. They weren't easy to
Yeah,
get prior. Just like I said
it's
before,
an expensive console.
correct. It's an expensive console, and but games like this, similar to what Animal Crossing is like, Nintendo came out and said, obviously during the pandemic, Animal Crossing and Switch Two, or I'm sorry, and Switch One's attach rate were ridiculous, like
Yeah.
ridiculously high. And if there's, I don't even know how many Switch Twos are out there, but you might be talking about a 1-to-3 ratio right now. I mean,
Yeah, I would have to look. Give me a couple
yeah,
seconds.
because I mean, like when I talk about attach rate, if there's 6 million Switches out there and there's 2.2 million people that bought, I think there's more than 6 million
15
Switches.
million switches.
How many?
15 million.
Okay, but that's still a 1-to-7.
Yeah.
Like if you know seven
And the
people
game's
that
been
own a
out the
Switch
game's
2,
been out 2 weeks.
right? If you know 7 people that own a Switch 2, one of them has this game.
Yeah.
So
No, and I've seen a lot of videos of people being like, Pokopia cost $600 because I had to go buy a Switch 2. Like people had to do it. Whoever decided at Nintendo, because there's no reason why this couldn't run on a Switch One. I do believe you can do console share with it, to where if you want to
yeah,
share the game with
yeah,
a Switch One user, they can play technically with you. So the game can run on a Switch
which
One.
is their
But
glorified
whoever,
remote play connecting to your Switch 2, by the way. But I digress.
yeah, but whoever at Nintendo looked at this game, and I'm sure there was a debate on like,
Yep.
we can release this on a Switch One and we can sell like
20 million, 25
copies
million. Yeah.
easy, or we put this on a Switch 2 and we can maybe move 20 million units of the Switch console. Like
Yeah.
whoever made that decision of like, hey, it's going to be a long sell and we'll get there by the end of the year, but like whoever made that decision has to get patted on the back of just like, you made the right choice. You chose to just
Because now if they
take
can,
the hit early.
yeah, if they can somehow keep this game with legs into the holiday season, this will become the 8-year-old to 25-year-old top of the wish list. Like I need a Switch
Yes,
2
yeah,
and I
100%.
need this game. Like
And I think there's only I'm playing it, and I think there's like over 300 Pokemon, but there's like 600 Pokemon total. Like so there's room for expansion
yeah.
if they want. Easily just drop 100 extra Pokemon or new territories and stuff like that, and people will jump all over it,
Yeah. For sure.
paid or not paid.
And it's also a very fascinating way, to your point on that last bullet point you had on there, of getting the Switch 2 users comfortable with the game key.
Yeah, I didn't want to buy a game key, but
Yeah.
I was in a store, I saw it, and I'm like, fuck it, let's try it.
Yeah.
So now I own a game key.
Because they're allegedly saying that the games won't fit on the cartridges, right?
This game apparently is 6 gigs, so it should have, but they
Okay.
just didn't want to pay for the bigger cartridge.
Okay. Yeah. But I mean,
So
that's kind of where
this
it
was
came
a
from.
controversial game.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Because it made sense for Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk couldn't fit on
Yeah.
the Nintendo Switch 2 cartridge, but I think Nintendo, also a smart move, like you said, to get people comfortable with the
Yep.
idea, put a really small game on a key card and said,
Yeah.
"Fuck it,
Well, and
let's see if people buy
they're
it."
gonna get the user base and they're gonna plant the seed, and like ultimately I'm probably either Odyssey 2, whatever the next Zelda is, whatever the next cool Nintendo game that they decide to Nintendo Switch 2 game that they decide to bring out. I already buy them digitally anyways because I get tired of cards, but it's just like I know I'm different than other people, but like once you get them past that point of like, well, okay, so I have the key card, like, and with the key card, does the cartridge have to be in the Switch 2?
It does.
It does. Okay. But to the
Yeah.
point of where they start realizing like, hey, it's kind of nice just
What's
having
the
it on the
difference?
hard drive. Like,
Yeah, or they just won't know the difference.
yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, it doesn't matter. I put the cartridge into the plays. I
Yep.
take the cartridge out, it doesn't play. Like, what do I care if it downloads the whole thing? I do,
Yeah, yeah.
but like most people won't care, and they'll be fine with it.
You do, but you
And
don't
then
when it's the right game.
yeah, and it opens up to where like I guarantee they will do expansions for this in some form,
Yeah.
to where they'll probably release a non-game keycard version of it
Oh, yeah,
during the
you'll get some
holidays.
game of the year key card or game of the year
Yeah, that has the
cartridge. Yeah.
expansions on an actual cartridge, and then they'll get people to double dip because like Nintendo doesn't,
Yep.
Nintendo just cares about money for the most
Mhm.
part, and it'll work. Shit, it would probably work on me. I would be like, you son of a bitch, you got me.
I already own the
But
game, but I
yeah,
want the physical copy to put on my shelf to look pretty.
yeah, I want the physical copy. Hey, I don't trust Nintendo not to shut the store down, so like like I want to. But yeah, no, the game's fantastic. It is like one of the
Even though they
darkest
kept
and
the
most.
Wii store up for a long ass time.
They did, but they shut that Wii U store down and the 3DS store.
Well, yeah, they
real quick.
failed. The 3DS store didn't, but the
Not- Yeah, but they didn't care. They shut all of that down. They shut one store down, saw people didn't throw as big of a fit, and then they shut everything else down. Oh, there's one story I will include, but we'll talk about it later.
is it
But yeah, no,
about
this
Sony's
game,
branding?
yes, because
Okay.
it's the dumbest thing. I can't wait to like see that get reversed. Um,
You can
but
switch
it's
that. You can switch that with your next one if you want.
oh, 100%. Yeah, next story. Fuck that story.
I'll take.
Actually, I'll put it
I'll
still at the end.
yeah. Move the bottom
I'll
one
still
up.
put
I'll
it at
talk
the end.
that one and put it below that one. So
Yeah, yeah. But Pokopia is one of those things where it's like they made like the most whimsical Pokemon game and like the darkest Pokemon game all
Yeah.
in one package, and it's just been kind of amazing to dig around that game. The idea of like Minecraft meets Animal Crossing meets Pokemon just working. I remember when the trailer first came out during a Nintendo Direct, and I'm like, oh, that looks stupid. That's just an Animal Crossing ripoff. And then now, every fucking night, I'm spending like 2-3 hours with Sarah, and we're like, okay, we got to build this town up. We got to do this. Oh, which Pokemon just visited? Okay, cool. Oh shit, they need
oh wait, it's 11
fucking
o'clock.
CD
We didn't eat
player.
dinner. Like
Multiple fucking times. Right now, like she would be playing on a couch behind me if I wasn't recording, so she just took the Switch 2 upstairs and she's playing it in handheld mode. And then when I can't wait when I'm done with this podcast and be like, shit, what Pokemon
Yep.
did we get? Did you finish building that house? It's just been really addicting, and
That's
it's
awesome.
they kind of struck gold with this, and I'm kind of glad. I would always joke, like Pokemon Snap and Stadium are the best Pokemon games of all time. So I'm kind of glad a non like
Yeah.
Pokemon game.
I don't know. I think
Or
Pokemon Go is taking
non-traditional.
over or was taking over for a long time, but that's only a phone game. So
Yeah, yeah, and then also they were using us to spy and feed AI data,
yep.
which came out earlier this year. Which is like, I'm not surprised at that.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody stopped
disappointed.
playing it because of it.
No,
Yeah.
not at all. They'll feed the machines. But yeah, no, the game's fantastic. Definitely worth
Yeah.
checking out. Let's talk about a kind of well, I mean, it is a bummer story because anytime
Yeah.
this happens,
Yep.
it sucks. But Ubisoft is shutting down Red Storm Games. They are the longtime Tom Clancy Rainbow Six developers. They laid off about 105 people. They basically just laid off anyone that was like an actual developer, and the rest of the people at the studio are going to be like IT support for Ubisoft, which is the first time I think I've like really heard of something like that happening.
Okay.
But the studio's previous work includes The Division Heartland, which was canceled in 2024, as well as helping develop the Division titles, Far Cry titles, and then solo developing like Ghost Recon Future Soldier in 2012, Werewolves Within in like I think 2017. They did an Assassin's Creed VR game 2 years ago, but they're mostly known for, since they joined Ubisoft in 2000, and they're mostly known for doing Rainbow Six games, Ghost Recon games, just a little bit of everything that had Tom Clancy's name on. So like a long-standing Ubisoft developer that has been kind of lost in the shuffle for a while.
Yeah, I was gonna. This is
Getting
probably
shut.
like an OG auxiliary studio to your term, like this, like
They turned into one, yeah.
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 They did a ton of stuff on the Division and the Dark Zone, the PvP extraction stuff. Looking back now, 10 years, like Division's franchise is 10 years old. Also, damn, I'm old. Um, But looking back of like they were, with the little snippet of what we had in the Dark Zone and compared to like Escape from Tarkov and Marathon and these extraction things, like they were kind of ahead of the curve of what they were trying to accomplish, to where maybe like some of the game players weren't ready for it, or the division crawled, the division Dark Zone crawled so that these other games could run and walk and sprint. um it sucks. They're like one of the, not rare, but I guess one of the less likely US based studios that worked for Ubisoft. So,
Yeah, North Carolina, which I
yeah,
knew of the studio, but like they're North Carolina, but I
yeah,
didn't know where they were. I just assumed Canadian. So this studio was actually founded by Tom Clancy. So this is Tom
yeah,
Clancy's actual studio.
yeah.
That was closed, but like long history of working with stuff. So like any like Tom Clancy game that came out between 1997 and shit like
2017.
2012.
Yeah, it's like
2012 they solo developed, and then they became like a helper studio after that.
I guess my
uh
ultimate hope is for these like the 105 people that lost their job. Like that's terrible. That sucks. I hope that these other ones aren't just glorified IT. I hope the ones that had significant impacts on the Division franchise get hired by Massive. Like I really hope that, because Massive has been talking publicly about the Division 3. They're pumping a bunch of stuff into the Division 2 right now, with it being the 10-year anniversary. They finally announced like crossplay. Like there's a lot of things that like they're still like trying to do with the Division franchise, and Red Storm was a huge part, not huge, but a significant part of the Division franchise for a while. And I really hope that these either those people have already left Red Storm to go to Massive, or they get the opportunity to go to Massive, because that right now, with the world that Ubisoft is in, similar to how we talked about for a while, you had some golden boy studios for these companies. Like Massive's is on the top rung for Ubisoft. It's got to be, right. Like Massive's got to be number one studio for them.
yeah, one, or it'd be one of those things
Pandora,
that's a
Star Wars
cop out.
Outlaw, and Division.
Yeah, I would say like they would probably be like 1A or 1B.
Yeah,
Like they're number one, but like whoever's
yeah,
ahead of Assassin's Creed is probably still their
yeah.
golden goose. But yeah, Massive would be up there. Who's doing Rainbow Six? Like,
Oh,
who's
yeah, like
doing
that's probably like
Siege?
Ubisoft Vancouver or something like that. But,
Yeah,
um,
yeah. So,
but yeah, like you're right. I mean, they're like I almost can like
but it's a studio that has a name in
yeah,
Ubisoft. It doesn't just have a generic
yeah.
Ubisoft
Let me
city
look it
name.
up
It
real
has
quick,
an
because you're
actual
right.
brand
Like
name.
I almost sometimes forget, as much as like Rainbow Six keeps their cadence and is the top. I guess I mean I don't know enough about this, but a top 3 competitive esport, right? Easily, yeah,
Probably. I mean, they probably fallen off, but they're still definitely top 10. You know,
yeah.
on a good day, top 3.
Rainbow Studios.
Dave's.
Yeah.
So yeah, so they just
Yeah.
have like a.
Rainbow Studios is a Phoenix-based, employee-owned developer renowned for all of its off. Wait a second.
That doesn't sound right.
No,
That doesn't sound right.
right, because I typed in Rainbow 5 like a doofus.
I didn't know that you would get that. Rainbow Six Siege.
Vantage Studios, as of late 2020,
Vantage.
has taken charge of the development of the expansion of Rainbow Six Siege, making a shift away from direct control by Ubisoft.
It's Ubisoft Montreal. It's Ubisoft Montreal, Dave.
Okay, is it
I
Vantage
just
or
looked it
no?
up. Vantage is the new name of their big umbrella thing. Remember, they took their
Yeah,
important franchise
of
and
the
put them
houses,
under a new
their
umbrella.
houses. So
Yeah, their houses. So it's Ubisoft Montreal.
okay,
That is the developer.
I said
for,
Vancouver.
Rainbow Six
I was
Siege.
close. I was in Canada.
I guess so. Yeah, you're in Canada.
Yeah,
yeah.
so it's interesting, like just to see like what, it sucks, but there's Ubisoft has been through it the last 6, 7, 8 years, and we're still not, like Julian Garrity left. As much as I was just praising Massive, Julian Garrity's the guy behind the Division. He's working on Battlefield now, and based on his track record of what he's done with the Division, he can probably get Battlefield moving in a good direction. Removing the fact of what's happened to that company with the death of the recent passing of him, I wouldn't want to be in Julian Garrity's shoe. I can't think of his name. Was it Stigmata or no?
The person that passed,
Yeah,
Vincent Bella.
yeah, Vince Zampella. I'm sorry. I wouldn't want to be Garrity and following his footsteps, whether that and then following his footsteps on the unexpected passing, not somebody just leaving a company,
Mhm.
like, but he's got a track record to show that hopefully he can move some stuff in the right direction, but it's
Yeah.
also just kind of this is the shedding, I guess at this point in time you have to call it the shedding, but the shedding of Ubisoft's overgrowth.
Yeah, and they recently did that kind of merger thing, and they're just kind of cutting all the extra stuff that, or the stuff that they deem extra, or stuff that just wasn't working. Because Ubisoft did become bloated. Like,
Yeah.
remember that a couple years ago, that big like chart of all the studios they owned, and
Yep.
most of the studios were auxiliary studios, and it just doesn't make sense to kind of run
Mhm.
that way. You don't need 10.
Especially when they
studios.
went into that rhythm where all of their games kind of felt the same. You pressed and held the touchpad, it pulled back and showed you this big map with all these things that lit up, and you could
Yeah,
do all this stuff.
tower,
Yep.
hidden thing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
no, it definitely kind of. That's why I kind of fell off Ubisoft games.
yeah.
It would have been nice if they would have like figured out something to do with those other
Well,
companies.
for the
but,
record,
like,
Ubisoft
that's
fell
not
off
possible.
Ubisoft games.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they kind of over relied on the same shit over and over again, and then canceled themselves because they did bad things.
Yep.
But yeah, no, this is a bummer that another studio's closed. There are a couple studios have closed in the last like 2 weeks. It's almost too hard to cover based on how many of the
Yeah.
studios end up closing. But yeah, we'll see. Like we talked about it, I think last time, of just like, I don't think we're gonna get an Ubisoft Forward this summer, but like they definitely seem like they might need one. 'Cause
They
it's
either
just been
need they
bad
either
news
need a
after bad
Ubisoft
news.
Forward, or they need Xbox or PlayStation to do a state of play or developer direct that they third party up with them, and they get their day in the sun with them somehow. Like
Yeah.
they gotta do something.
I wonder how long we are from. I feel like Ubisoft's gonna run to the same spot that like Bungie did. Not to bring things back to
Yeah.
Destiny all the time, but like Bungie knows that they're gonna have to pull the trigger on Destiny 3 eventually.
But
and they
Ubisoft did too, and they're doing Division
Yeah.
3, but they've just been kind of quiet about it. But then at the same time,
Yeah.
they're at least pumping out or offering little trinkets to get you to come. Like they're doing enough stuff to pique my interest to either start a character on PC or wait for this crossplay thing, which I hope also means cross save, and then I can just start playing.
Mhm.
But at this point in time, it's been so long since I played the Division 2. I'm like, what harm would it be to start a new character? It's probably been 5 years since I played it. And it's like
Yeah.
the deluxe edition of Division 2 or whatever is like $16 on the Ubisoft store for PC right now. I might even own it.
But-
Like, I don't even know. Like
You probably do at this
on
point.
PC, yeah.
Yeah, but it'd be one of those things where like they probably look at Siege and they're just like, fuck, like a new one would probably do us numbers, but like we would be abandoning something really good. It's the Grand Theft Auto online scenario for Rockstar. It's the Destiny 3 thing for Bungie, of just like, shit, we probably really need a sequel, but it's very risky breaking our fan base, or God forbid, just forcing the other game to close, and then like, hey, we're setting the servers down on Siege, and we want you all to jump to here, like how Overwatch 2 shut down Overwatch 1, and then they had to kind of backtrack on that a little bit because it just led to a lot of angry
Yeah,
people.
because but
So-
they're even still trying to, like, you started saying something and it triggered in me. I don't For Honor has been around a lot, and this Invictus game, like that Ubisoft is talking about, which is like an Assassin's Creed experience with For Honor roots.
Mhm.
So like it's just like the point of where they're just pulling on the same branch, and eventually like pulling on that branch, it's just gonna snap, and when it snaps, you're done. And we're like we circling back to what we talked about before with Call of Duty a couple weeks ago. Like, is it because Microsoft put Call of Duty on Game Pass? Is it because Microsoft bought Activision? Is it because Call of Duty finally, just after 12 or 15 years, had its run? Like there's so many, you can say so many things because history has told you that these things should work, but like, is a Far Cry 7, if that's even the number, I think that's the number, is a Far Cry 7 8, is it?
New one. Or did Far Cry 7 just come out?
I don't
remember.
know. So, but is
Yeah.
the next Far Cry gonna be the thing that breaks the branch? Like,
Mhm.
because again, high tier mid games, high tier, high eights are pretty much all Far Cry games, focused on the villain, cool stories, interesting dynamics, a mute protagonist. But then like how many times can you do that? Like, and it's just really, really interesting. And then is the Assassin's Creed bubble going to burst? But they're trying to do something completely. There's so many things that they're on the edge. Yeah, there's so many things that are on the edge for them that it's just super interesting. But if I were a betting person and gambling on something of a studio that could virtually hit rock bottom with a game and literally pull themselves up off the ground and be standing there again, I would bet on a Ubisoft company. Maybe not now with the currently where they're structured. Rainbow Six Siege was a hot ass mess in the first 6 months it came out. Awful. Now it's arguably for a while there it had a huge run as one of the top tier competitive shooters in the market. The Division did fine, fell flat on his face. Literally, it's the paragraph that I write in my review resonated in my head for my life. They came out on a stream and said, "We have stuff and things planned for this game. Stuff and things." And then all of a sudden surged up there again. And then they brought the Division 2 out, surged even higher. For Honor, mid, shot up. It's just they have the track record of being able to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. But now, I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know under the current leadership. I know some people will point to Skull and Bones of like, well, they didn't do it for that game, but I think that game never had a chance.
Yeah. But here's the deal. They're not shutting it down. They're still supporting it. No, they're still trying. For now, yeah. They didn't concord it. They didn't concord it. Sony said, "Fuck that, we're done." Drink.
Yeah, and maybe it's a passing project of one of the brothers
now,
that owns
it. They did it to the Battle Royale game that they had, the skyscraper jumping game, or like where I can't think of it, but that was free to play.
Every time you mention this fucking game, Dave, I never remember the name.
And I feel like this world of free to play, it's like, oh, it didn't work, we're done. Like I feel like there's this you spent $8, here's your refund, go away. And like I feel like there's a different dynamic of how you represent or respect from a free to play game versus a purchasing game. So Hyperscape. I said it before you.
And then X Defiant. Like 2 years ago.
Is X Defiant done?
Yeah, they canceled that a while ago.
Okay, I played that one. I actually played that.
Yeah, I did too. I had problems with that.
I played the Division Mobile, which is actually coming out, by the way.
That's funny, but watch it ends up catching on just enough for like mobile games.
Yep.
They're like, hey.
No, but I mean, just in terms of the pedigree of a studio that's like the epitome of the Chumbawamba song. Like you get knocked down, but you get back up again. Like it's crazy to think of like they've done it, but then like where did it go? Like what happened to that talent? Like where did you lose that at? Where's the next at a certain point in time? Like where is the next Mario Rabbids game? Like where like these things that just come out, like you have these IPs, like where is what's the game that's like same thing, it's owned by Ubisoft but they do their own thing, the monkeys in the space,
Rabbit Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, like where like even when you and I would go to
I told you what if all the people that were in charge of those projects were the people that were shunned from the industry for being horrible people?
I get it, I understand. There's a chance. But even like when you and I saw it firsthand, it was like, okay, here's the Ubisoft booth, and then over there down the hall is the Good and Evil booth. Like, hey, can you get over there? No, you got to make a separate appointment, huh?
Yeah, behind closed doors. Here's Beyond Good and Evil. Here's Elijah Wood talking about something.
Yeah, I was super. We were super friendly with very high ups in Ubisoft PR, and they're like, "Nah, bro, you can't go over there." I'm like, come on. Yeah.
No, you don't understand. Joseph Gordon-Levitt's behind that.
Yeah, no, just like, I'm like, okay, I don't even know what the game is, but I want to see it because now you tell me I can't see it, so now I want to see it more. Like,
yeah, no, especially that was that era where they would just pump out a celebrity to be like, hey,
yeah,
they're involved in this somehow.
I have that audio cut somewhere of me interviewing somebody for the Division 2, and I started my questions off kind of just like having a conversation with them, and then I asked them a question, and literally on my recording, he's like, "Fuck, you played the game. I got to pay more attention." And I was just I was like, "What'd you say?" And he's like, "No, it's fine, it's fine." He goes, "I got to sit up." He's like, because he's like, I've had like 6 people before that are just asking the most generic questions, and you actually asked me a Buildcraft question, and it threw me off. Sorry. It's like,
I can't remember if it was me and you playing some multiplayer game at the Ubisoft booth, and I think we were the only ones that knew what the fuck we were doing. And I think the devs checked on us and were like, "Oh shit, you know how to hold a controller? Cool, perfect." And then they like didn't bother
I
us.
think
the
it was
entire
Skull and
time.
Bones.
It might have been Skull and Bones, but I remember there was some stuff where we're playing and the devs were like, "Oh, cool, I don't even have to bother with
Or
you
they
guys.
walk up to
guys
you like,
can-"
"Where are you going? What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm going towards the shiny thing." Like, "Oh, he's got it. All right, see you later." Like,
yeah, he knows basic gameplay. Yeah. But sometimes that backfires and then they don't talk to you.
Yeah,
because they're
like-
babysitting other people, and you're like, shit.
I have a real question.
Yeah, I think I've only embarrassed myself once playing a game, and I was playing Hitman, and it was a sniper mission, and I was like, I can't do sniping missions.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's like something similar happened in Destiny where I didn't even realize, like when I was in Seattle for those 48 hours, somebody was behind me for like 15 or 20 minutes. Like I was engrossed in what I was doing. I had headphones on. I'm playing the game, and then he like taps the shoulder and he goes, I think I did some combination of something like that, and he's like, "Why'd you do that?" And I was like, "Did I do something wrong?" He's like, "No, I genuinely want to know why you did that in the order that you did it because I'm curious." He's like, and I'm like, "Oh," and then somebody's like, "Do you know who that was?" I'm like, "No." Like, he's like second of the sandbox. I'm like, "Okay, sorry." Like, it's like,
that's like me breaking games and
Yeah.
developers and being like, "How did you do that?" And I'm just like, so I humped this part of the map, and
and for the record, for those of you that maybe have not listened to us before, Michael was notorious for this. Like, he probably on average broke a game a day in E3.
In multiple games a day. I would always hate when it was an indie game.
I said on
'cause I knew
average.
Yeah. I knew when I fucked up an indie game, it was devastating. Like when I broke a Ubisoft game or a PlayStation game,
Yeah.
they have a whole team.
Didn't you black screen a Vita for somebody and have to give it back to him?
Yes, I did. That happened twice, I think, actually.
You're like, "Here you go," and they're like, "What?" You're like, I don't know, man. The screen just went black. Here's your Vita back."
And just seeing devs, especially if they're indie devs, face break of just like, I am gonna be up all fucking night now. And it's just like, yeah, you are. I broke Spider-Man in front of Ted Price.
Yeah.
So I have my experience, but yeah, that is the Ubisoft news. Here's something that's not in the news for Dave to go on notes, but I'm just gonna just go off the top of my head. A report came out earlier this week that PlayStation is going to be retiring PSN and PlayStation Network as a brand, and they are going to be replacing all of that signage, logos, names with something new at some point later this year. And it seems like it's going to be like company wide or like platform wide. They're just going to change the name of all of that because they're looking for better synergy. And this kind of sounds like execs are bored and have to say they're doing a new thing. But Dave, RIP PSN, PlayStation Network.
Props to my buddy Kyle. Weatherman Kyle. He's not a weatherman anymore, but he's like, this is, I think his tweet said something to the extent of, "This is what sounds really cool in a boardroom but means nothing in the real world."
People are still going to call it PSN. People are still going to call it PlayStation.
Now, to be fair, I believe, I don't even know, but I believe on PS4 it's just I'm sorry, PS5, it's just the shop. Like the icon is just called the shop now, right? Or the store. I think it's just called the store.
It still uses,
but it has
like
the shopping bag with
symbols,
the PlayStation symbols on it. But it doesn't have that, what I would refer to as that sphere. That, you know, like the sphere with the PlayStation symbols on it. And I don't know if I've seen it as PlayStation Network or PSN in print on a Sony device in the PS5 era. I could be wrong.
Press releases, they still refer to
Correct.
it as like
Okay.
PlayStation
Yeah.
Network, PlayStation Store.
I don't know what other fancy name you could think of. I don't really hear it referred to as Xbox Live that much either anymore. It's just Xbox or whatever. It's PlayStation. So like, yes, I get it. Why would you have to like make this kind of like an announcement or something you would say from behind a podium or something like that? To potentially appease stockholders of like, look at what we're trying to do. Like,
we're gonna have to invest in new brands, new logos. launch all this new product because now it has the new name on it. They tried to do this in like 2010 when they were going to change everything to Sony Entertainment Network.
Yeah, wasn't that
Remember
kind of after?
Sin?
No, that was before the crash, right?
That was after. That was after. That
Okay.
was like I want to say late PS3, early PS4
Okay.
era, where they tried to do Sen, and people were like, "This is stupid," and they backtracked on that pretty quickly,
Yeah.
to where they just stopped doing it. And I have a feeling this would be the same thing. This is basically an executive who's like, "Hey, I'm going to spearhead a project to make a problem, then I'm going to spearhead another project to undo that problem, and then you're going to say good job for fixing that problem
Yeah.
you caused." I don't know. It's the same thing. Like Elon Musk stupidly changing Twitter to X and
Yeah.
expecting people not to say tweets in Twitter.
Well, now the
Like,
thing that's the most funniest is anytime, like, from a sports standpoint, anytime you see it, it'll be like at Adam Schefter on X, formerly Twitter. It's like now it's just not called X; it's just called X, formerly Twitter. Like it's
yeah, because they have to.
right.
You ruin your brand, dude.
Yeah. So,
And this would be
yeah,
the same thing.
yeah,
Uh, I will add this caveat, Dave. Um, do you think this is, and this is like, this isn't the reason they're gonna do it, but this is, they're not changing the brand to make an excuse to do this, but
hmm
this is going to be a good excuse to do what I think they'll do, if that makes any sense. This is how you finally shut down the PS3 store, the
yeah.
Vita store, and the PSP
I,
store. Because
I think that you would see more of this really take hold and take effect with the launch of PS6.
Mhm.
Like in terms of like the core branding, and then as PS6 comes out, they're gonna say something to your point of like, we're 3 generations removed. It's time to shut this down.
It's not worth us to update those assets to now reflect this new branding. And it's not that, it's just one of those like happy accidents
Yeah.
that will happen where they're like, hey, we're already gonna do this branding stuff. So then when we look at everything we need to change, we saw at the very bottom of our list, we still have 2 mobile platforms and
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
console or two.
Some of you know the company I work for. They're going through something. We're going through something similar of marketing taglines, logo changes, little stupid crap like this. But there was a conference or something. I don't remember if it was in person or on a town hall call or whatever. But they're like, the head of marketing was like, "Do you know how many places our logo appears?" And they did like a straw poll thing or something like that. And they said that our logo is on like 218 pieces of things, like in the company or in the stores, or like all the way from bags to shopping cart handles to shopping basket handles to signage to the lower left hand corner of a poster, and it's like 218 times. Like, and if you change a
Yeah.
logo, like you have to like
Well,
update so much stuff.
yeah, it's going to force them to look at a list and they're going to see some things on that list. They're like, well, we don't really need to update that. We just
Yeah,
kill it.
yeah,
And that's, I imagine, what would happen with the PS3, PSP, PS Vita. To your point, if it is for the PS6, maybe the PS4 store.
uh-huh.
Maybe they're like, you know what, it's not worth it because every product
Well,
page
and I
for
think
those
now
items will say,
PS4 store connects very well to PS5 networking, like in terms
yeah,
of,
yeah,
so then I would assume, God, I hope, PS6 would then have a good connectivity to PS4 and PS5, but
mhm,
PS4 has next to no connectivity to PS3. Um,
yeah.
so then, like,
It's a good cutoff point for
right,
them
so
to
that's
just,
where that shutter happens of, hey, our new PS store, I'm just saying a name, our new PS store supports PS6, PS5, PS4, and without saying it, they say PS3 store is gone.
yeah, yeah. They're just like, hey, PS3 store's gone. Whatever is left of the PS Vita store, the PSP store,
Yeah.
they just kind of cut that off. Maybe some
PSN
games get
store is
retired.
gone. And going
Yeah,
forward, the PS store works on PlayStation 4, 5, and 6 games.
yeah. We upgraded it with new logos for
Yeah.
better some bullshit reason why they close everything off. And then now will cause them to like reevaluate, like, hey, some accessories that we sell that might have the PlayStation Network or PSN name branding on it, we just won't make those anymore. So those will be retired. And then you might see some random stuff that they,
Hell, man, at this point in
pro-
time,
they
these
still,
third-party companies are doing a better job than the first-party companies are on their peripherals. I've been getting some of those emails about that Cracked brand that I have for my Switch and their Rock Band stuff or their Guitar Hero stuff. Like,
yeah,
that
yeah.
looks better than anything that the Rock Band or Guitar Hero could have
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, there's a plethora of new
Yeah.
Rock Band accessories that have been really nice. But it is a baffling move though to do this
Yeah.
in general. I talk about the PS3 stuff just because I'm passionate about that.
Yeah,
But
for
like
sure.
for the
Rightfully so.
that aside, yeah,
It's probably the best digital library of what you call like double A games. Like,
yeah, yeah,
like it's arguably the
it's the
best.
last era of
Yeah.
double A games.
Yeah, so
Uh,
before the cool developers would partner with the or the indie developer, then ended up partnering with the big developer. Because what was it for a little while there? Like they used to have like the indie sale in the summer.
yeah,
Like
there was a Summer of Arcade on
yeah,
Xbox, and then I forget State of. I think it was just Days of Play.
yeah,
No, they still kind of do Days of Play, but it's like for
indie
physical
play or
stuff.
something
But
like
yeah,
that, or play
yeah,
indie or something. But they, like it was really cool, and that's where we saw a lot of that. Like people forget like Flow and Flower and Journey were independent
Everyday
games.
Shooter.
Yeah. Hotline
God, there's so
Miami,
many.
like yeah, like
Hmm.
these were like made by like
The
6 or 7
Last Guy.
people, yeah, like or sometimes less, and
Mhm.
they would like in the 2014, 15, 16, 17 years, they would never compete for game of the year, but they were on the top of people's game played.
Well, it turned into a lot of outlets had to do indie game of the year
Yeah,
because of just the amount of stuff coming through during that time. But yeah, no, this is still just a baffling move outside of my paranoia about the PS3
yeah,
store shutting down. Uh, of just again, it's executives just like I need a new project that I can stamp my name on, and then I need a new project after that that I can stamp my
yeah,
name on.
and especially
We'll see.
go ahead.
Oh no, we'll see. It'll probably be something stupid of just like, oh, it's PSN is gone, but PlayStation Network's gone, but it's just like PlayStation Services. It's still gonna have PlayStation in the name. They're not gonna get
Yeah.
rid of the PlayStation name. I would say the PlayStation name is more valuable than the Sony name
Yeah, I
at
would
this
concur.
point.
I would 100% agree.
Yeah.
But it's similar to like I only saw little bits and pieces of it, but Xbox is, like even with all the changes with Spencer leaving and the changes that they're having, they went to GDC and started talking about their next console.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they did a
Hextech,
Helix.
whatever it's
Yeah.
called, Helix.
Yeah, they did a whole presentation on this essentially like hybrid PC console. Like
Mhm.
so they're still like they're not pivoting or there wasn't a massive change, at least not right now. But everybody that thinks that they were just going to turn into a developer or drop gaming, like it's not happening in the next 5 to 7 years minimum. So, and they're still doubling down on that. And then some of the rumors that we're seeing and hearing a little bit, I think, about PS6 is essentially like almost like a Switch size controller, right?
I keep seeing different things. I keep
Yeah.
seeing like they are going to do a handheld soon, like within the next
But
year
it
or
sounds like
two,
it
and
might
then
be
a
or
PS6
it might be
after.
PS6 as a hybrid Switch style console.
I keep hearing both
Yeah.
ways of like
Yeah.
the portable thing will come out first, and then that's basically why they're doing like eco mode and PS5 and stuff
Yeah.
like that, because it's
Or
basically like,
in the
hey, we
Portal,
need to
the
make
stuff that
sure.
they've been testing with the
Yeah.
Portal of streaming
Yes.
games and playing downloadable or playing cloud games and stuff like that. Like I think that they're really kind of not only testing their infrastructure but testing their consumers. Like, are they doing this? Are they interacting with this? Is this working? But there's been enough updates to the Portal that it's got me looking at it again. And
Yeah, it's still not quite there. I think
right,
it needs a whole hardware refresh
yeah.
to get it to where we want it to be, which is I think they're building towards.
But that under
Of like,
$200 price point is $250 price point or whatever it is still kind of like intriguing to me, and I'm like,
Mhm.
but my experience with it in my own house has been shit, and that's why I took it back.
yeah, yeah, and it's one of those things where I feel like they're trying to figure out a way to like how close can we get this to a portable system without having to add new hardware to it, and then I think they're
Yeah.
gonna find out, and we're gonna find out by like next year of just like we couldn't do it, so here's new hardware
Yeah,
that is the shell, and here you go. And
because
it
love them or
plays
hate them,
PS5
love it or
games.
hate it, you got to respect what Nintendo's been able to do with that market, that hybrid market. Like it's crazy, and the other companies are kind of playing catch up, but like Xbox is 100% playing catch up. To the point where they just paid ROG to do it for them. um,
Yeah,
and Sony's just decided to be like, at least on the surface level early on, of like, yeah, we're not touching that. Not even a chance. We're just gonna
yeah.
go over here. Like,
They're like kind of dicking around it, you know.
yeah.
They're just kind of poking at the idea of like, hey, look, maybe we'll do this, and they're trying to squeeze whatever they can out of
Here's all of
the
our
portal
here's
at
all of
this
our
point.
old Sony phones that never sold, and we slapped two pieces of a DualShock on the left side and right side of them.
Yeah, and we'll see what happens, and they're adding more features to it.
Yeah.
Again, they're going to hit a wall with that, and then I think that's when they get whoever's into that of just like, hey, for $300 or $400, here's a thing I can play.
Here's Portal 2.
Yeah, here's stuff that can kind of play PS5 games, but maybe not as well. And there should be a market for that because like I just really got excited my Switch 2 can play things in 1080p on handheld mode. Wrong. So like ideally I should be down for
if they could figure out
portable.
If they could figure out a way to make, and I hate to keep using this repertoire, if they could figure out a way to make Madden and Call of Duty run on that thing butter, they'd have it.
They would just need baseline stuff, just even if it looks a little ugly, as long as it runs. Remember how excited you were when like the Vita came out and you got to play like the show on it?
Oh yeah, crossplay in general. Yeah. Guacameles, the show, the just to your point, moving a player, the cross save, like in 2012 or whatever it was, of like I can just it took forever watching the screen of uploading your player from the Vita to the PlayStation and then watching your PlayStation receive it. It was so archaic now that you think about it, but it was so cool.
Yeah, it is sad though if things are heading this direction where Nintendo's going to continue to do their handheld thing and like own that market. Xbox seems like they're going into market of like, hey, we're doing like a PC that's going to have multiple storefronts on it, but it's really still here for Game Pass. And then PlayStation's like, we're going to copy the Switch.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh, okay.
For the right game, anybody will do some funky shit. Like I can remember rubbing the mess out of that back touchpad on Uncharted Golden Abyss or whatever it was to get the sand off the coin of the collectible that I just picked up, or holding it up to a lamp or something like that, or playing Sly Cooper and walking across the tightrope and holding the Vita steady because if you tilted your Vita, you were gonna fall off.
but ultimately a lot of PlayStation fans, the gimmicks weren't why they were PlayStation fans,
right?
Is what they found out.
But you did it. You did it because the game was worth doing it for, because the end result was good enough.
Yeah, but at a certain point, like they kind of ran out of like gimmicks and things to really make people play. But PlayStation's never fully gone in that market, which has also been a problem. Like they tried in the PSP and Vita, they would always do like the launch games would be where they try, and then things wouldn't hit, and they'd be like, fuck it, okay, Ready at Dawn,
or you would hear about the special PlayStation game sound profiles for your headphones, and then it would be like 2 games.
yeah. Well, they're constantly doing that, so I worry about them potentially going into the hybrid, Switch type market
because they just announced some PSSR for the Pro, like
Pisser.
Yeah. I didn't know what it was. I got lost.
Yeah, I mean it's some like upscaling type stuff, and like it's interesting. But the PS5 Pro has been
that's right. It's AI upgrading. That's why everybody hates it. That's right. I got you. Yeah.
It's been super underwhelming.
Like,
when the Ubisoft games were running worse on the PS5 Pro than they were on a PS5,
all I saw when I read that blog article was like, oh, Capcom supports this. Okay.
That's basically it. And then who else? Starfield's going to be supporting it.
Yeah, which is the new story that Michael punted, by the way. Starfield's coming to PS5. Worst kept secret in the world.
It's going to be $50. Get ready to fucking load screens constantly and fucking empty worlds. God, that game sucks so bad. The fact that they're still going to go through
and you're saying that as a Fallout fan, by the way. This is supposed to be Fallout in space. Michael is a huge Fallout fan. Probably the biggest Fallout fan that I know. And he's like, fuck that game.
I played 10 hours of it, and it was the most boring, fucking uneventful thing that I've played in a long time. It's coming to PS5. Hey, good on them for seeing that through. Like, it's gonna be funny. I'm gonna shit on it, and then it's gonna be like number 3 all time for the month. And it's
that's inevitable. I mean, because you're on the number 1 console platform in the world.
Yeah, but then people are gonna be like, man, why did I buy this fucking game? It's like because it was a Bethesda game, and you thought like you shitted on it because you couldn't play it. Now that you could play it, you're gonna shit on it again now. But like you're at least gonna be valid in your shitting on this game. But yeah, no, I the PlayStation stuff is weird. We'll see if they go through with it. I wonder if this leaked as like a litmus test of just like, hey, how pissed are people going to be if we get rid of the PlayStation branding or the PlayStation Network branding? And then the reaction is, you're wasting your time. So an executive's going to be like, I'm a hero. I'm not going to do my plan after all. Please give me bonus. So we'll maybe never hear about this PlayStation Network rebrand, or we might later this year, and we'll get a state of play where they waste fucking 10 minutes telling us why this branding change was significant and important for our lives. We'll see. But that's all I had for the news, Dave. And this is a news-centric podcast. So,
all right, and that's a wrap for the show. We're about almost at the hour 20 mark, so that's usually kind of where we roughly try to shoot for. But please consider sending us questions. Post them in the hashtag AskDigitalDays channel on Discord. Tweet them at us, hashtag AskDigitalDays. Let us know. Post them on the Facebook group. We can try to answer some questions. And other than that, you can follow myself at Good Dave Hunt. You can follow Michael at the First MJC. You can follow the podcast at Digital Days Pod. And Facebook group and Discord server are there, as I mentioned before. So that's pretty much everything I got. You got anything else?
No, Dave. We'll probably talk about what we're playing in about 2 weeks or a week. I don't know. We'll see about that. I definitely have a list of games that I've been playing. We'll see if we can get Dave to hop on again.
So, all right. Well, I hope everyone has a great week or so, and just remember, keep moving forward.
Don't be a dick. See ya.
All right, I stopped my Audacity. Stream's still going. Aji, what show are you asking me if I watched? I'm sorry. Might have been something he wanted me to watch when he was cutting my hair or told me to watch. So.
How do I make this an MP3?
Do you have the option for file export audio?
That's where it would be. There we go. I was just trying to see where in the settings it was on this. I made it a button in my Audacity.
Yeah. So. Then there should be some drop-down menus or something.
Yeah, I see it.
What show, Aji? What are you talking about? What show?
Why did you do that voice?
I don't know.
Okay.
Owen took like a power nap, and I'm assuming that he's awake because I got a DoorDash notification that Burger King's coming to the house. So he probably woke up pissed off and hungry.
Wait, who woke up pissed off and hungry?
Owen.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes when he comes home from school, like he crashes, and he crashes hard.
Oh, okay. Well, I gotta go see what Sarah did to our Pokemon village.
Yep. All right. For those of you watching on the stream, appreciate you guys hanging out. We will talk to you guys soon.